Well, you know, but
New York Post is known to,
yeah,
you know, okay.
They really, you know, went wild with it. But I do help a lot of couples that come in. One right now is asking me to lend a hand, and he's more of a beta, and she'd like him to be more of an alpha, and she wants me to work with him on being more just outwardly in control and aggressive in the bedroom, things like that. There's a lot of different psychological needs and reasons why people would want to come and work with a professional sex worker.
Sure. Candace, it seemed like maybe you had something
I think
on
it's
this.
the most outrageous thing I've ever heard. It's so in the realm of like dragons and mythological creatures that it's hard to respond to the idea that she's saving marriages. It's just
You're
in disbelief.
I'm actually in utter disbelief that she is saving marriages.
Here's another example.
Sure.
Okay. So and this there's multiple clients that do this, where the wife will not have sex anymore. She went and said, look, when they were courting each other, she was down for sex. She was a sexual person. She was all about it. Then let's fast forward, they're married. We're married now, contract solidified. I don't want to have sex anymore. Ew, oral sex is gross. Oh, that's demeaning if you're asking me to do that.
So you're not saving marriages, you're helping people to keep up a farce that they are in a marriage. Because at the very moment that you let someone else into your marriage, it's no longer a marriage.
No.
Yeah.
And these women, have turned around and said, I will allow you to see a professional.
So they are not in a marriage. That's the point.
They're married.
As soon as you lend
some of
your
their
spouse
wives
out,
are like dying from cancer and this, that, and the other. And
if I'm dying from cancer and my
somebody
husband
sleeps
goes
with
to
somebody
sleep with
else,
somebody, I swear to God.
And their wives are the ones that come.
Hold on, just one at a time, please. Go. Candace, were you?
I just would like to make the point that at the very moment that you loan your spouse out, especially if you're dying of cancer, so that they can get off, you're no longer in a marriage. So it's just a farce. It's like it's a comical. You're pretending for people that you're in a marriage, that you're in a loving relationship. That's not what a marriage is. So to say that I help marriages, no, you help destroy marriages, and they can go out and say that we're still married because what we've done is we've essentially said, you take care of this aspect of the marriage. It's like saying, you raise the kids, you have sex with him. This isn't a marriage. It's the whole thing is fake, right?
What do you think that they should do?
I'll bring you in next.
What do you think that
they should work on their marriage together? The union between a husband and a wife should work on their marriage together to fix it. You don't bring out an outside person to sleep with your husband or your wife.
But if she's saying, I'm not down for sex,
then she might be down for a divorce.
I want to outsource the sex.
What if she's going to die from cancer and she
One
wanted him and she allowed him to do that because he needed to get off some way or shape?
While she was dying of cancer, one of the last things on her mind was,
this is a real life. This is a real life. This was a real. I'm asking you.
And is that what he told you?
So
that his wife, that's dying of cancer, wanted him to come have sex with you.
Not with me. This is from what I've heard. Yes.
Somebody told you that there's that as a dying wish. My dying
so
wife
how would
said,
you
please
want
go
that?
have sex with a prostitute.
I saw it on TikTok.
I'm just going to call bullshit on that altogether.
No,
I just don't
because
think
it does
when you're
happen.
dying of cancer,
It happens.
Going through leukemia.
People will literally bring their guys here.
Please bring them on the podcast.
I just want to say
go ahead.
that
Absurd scenario I've ever heard in my life.
There's
a lot of crazy shit.
There's
has been
marriage
asked for
counseling where they can take you through sex
thing.
therapy where you don't have to sleep with somebody else. If it's about a woman not wanting to have sex anymore, what's the underlying reason? Are her hormones messed up so she's not wanting to be sexually active? Is there not enough foreplay when they're having sex? Like, there's other avenues you can take for sex therapy.
Normal couples counselors.
Yes.
Real couples counseling.
Like regular.
Where you try to solve the problem and you release it and you don't just source it out to a prostitute.
Go ahead.
The cancer thing is crazy.
It's just the most absurd.
The cancer thing is
He lied.
crazy.
He lied.
But outside of that,
lied.
I don't think that it's up to any of us what constitutes a marriage because every relationship is different.
Well,
so
the Bible.
If a husband, okay, but
These words
if you're
have meaning.
Not
But not
everyone is
everybody is-
religious.
not
Well,
everybody
wait, hold on. Is
like
that a
saying,
cross
It
necklace?
doesn't constitute,
Yeah,
like, what do you,
Wait,
Am I
okay,
sure?
really quick.
Not everybody's
Since
religious.
we're talking about religion really quick. Okay, you have a cross necklace, but then your shirt says "Made in Hell."
Yes,
Can
it
you?
does.
I'm a little confused.
Ironic,
Can you?
I mean,
I'm a little confused.
the stone is red, so it matched,
Why are you wearing a cross on your
Are you
neck?
color coordinating with your neck?
Because I don't see a cross as religious, so
Okay,
thought
just like you
necklace
don't
was
see a
cute.
marriage as religious. So these
I don't
words
think that a
they don't
marriage-
have meaning. This is why it's like we're at a stage where people are like, "What is a woman?" Because they just go, "Well, we're going to call it a marriage, but we're going to sleep with other people. We're going to bring in prostitutes. We're going to outsource raising the kids, or we're never going to have kids." You're calling it a family. It's not a family, and this is what it is. The words have no meaning, right? I'm wearing the cross. Why? I don't know. I don't think of it as religious. Okay, well, Jesus Christ died on the cross.
You think that.
That's what you think.
Wait.
It's
That's
been
what you
proven.
think.
So why
It's
are
been
you wearing the
proven.
cross?
Sex
Because I think it's
worker
cute.
is
You
a
just think
more
that the design is cute.
Yeah.
better term.
Wait, really
I
quick.
grew up
Hold on.
Catholic. I was religious, and I'm not
Prostitution,
anymore. I
being
don't have to
called-
believe in what you believe, and I can say that if
I didn't
somebody's-
say you had to believe. I asked you a question.
But
I
you're
said, "Why are
telling
you
me,
wearing the cross?"
Okay, and you're saying that the religious aspect of marriage is the only thing that matters. It's not, because people don't follow what you believe.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked you why you're wearing the cross, and you said because you thought it was cute.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
glad
do.
we got an answer. She's wearing the
Okay.
cross around her neck because she thinks it's cute.
I do.
Would
I'm
you
not religious.
also wear like a Star of David?
It's cute.
As
Well,
like
because-
if it was cute, would you wear
Well,
it?
okay, well,
I
I
just
don't know
mean like
where we're going-
I'm
where this is
asking that
going.
because I wonder.
Well,
like
I
my
have-
guess is that you would think that
gotta talk.
maybe you wouldn't wear a Star of David because you're like, oh, this is maybe like disrespectful to people who are.
Are you making the
Jewish.
argument? Maybe. I mean.
No, I'm just.
The secular.
it's a very good question.
I'm just saying.
Devil's advocate here. Secular argument. Someone might just say that the cross is just maybe it's more aesthetically pleasing even for an atheist. I don't know.
Sure,
I
but
don't know.
liberals
Okay,
are all about
look.
like having
Would you wear, like,
respect
a
and
yarmulke 'cause
tolerance.
it's,
So
like,
I'm
cute?
just like wondering if you
I'm
think
asking
it's.
would you wear a yarmulke? Because
I think those are very
Oh,
different
are you talking
things.
like
why is the
blasphemy?
cross
I'm saying-
different
I'm
from the
s-
yarmulke?
I'm just.
I mean, I was
asking-
raised Catholic, and that's just
Would
not
you
something
wear
that
a
I believe
yarmulke if
anymore.
you thought it was cute?
No, I wouldn't wear. I mean, a yarmulke is completely different than
No,
a
it's-
cross that's
it's
been
not.
adapted
It's
into
not.
culture. You can buy a
Symbols of,
cross
like, a re-
necklace anywhere.
There's symbols of a
Okay,
religious.
the argument of why it's different basically would come down to like how Catholicism has been practiced versus Judaism, in the sense that like Catholics did use the cross symbol, tried to emplace it like in indigenous populations, tried to spread it as much as possible, and that's why in modern day a lot of people think that's like more okay, because it was meant to be popularized. It was meant to be a symbol that the masses should look up to and should see in general, versus Jewish symbols.
Okay.
I would argue didn't go through that.
I think we're kind of derailing a little bit.
Yeah.
You wanted to come
Okay,
in. Go ahead.
yes. So back to the interesting brothel stories. I wanted to say we do actually have men coming in with their parents. Yeah, this actually
their
happened.
wives.
Wait.
So I had a time where a guy came in with both his parents all the way from England to come to the Mustang Ranch because he wanted to lose his virginity.
Wait, is this
And
really
his
parents, where we left
parents-
off? I'm not.
And-
I'm just not following.
And his parents
the relation to our
paid
previous-
for him to have sex with legal prostitutes.
Hurrah!
I want your stance on that because
And-
what's your stance
and
on
I
that?
would-
Haram.
and if I may,
And wait, can I
nowadays,
just say
like,
that
we-
for me,
we
I
usually
enjoyed the
call it
experience.
sex workers, not prostitutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
actually-
I'm
she
sorry.
said,
Wait,
she
wait,
said
wait.
prostitute.
Yeah, it's because
Okay.
they keep.
Wait, did
it's
I-
because they keep.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
just-
Yeah, you said
usually
prostitutes at
sex
the beginning of the-
worker,
yes, different.
prostitutes a
Is
little
it
bit more
question? Is it
demeaning.
like a? Is
Well,
it?
she said that at the
is it
beginning of the show.
offensive?
Legal
Yeah,
prostitute,
She
yeah.
said legal prostitute.
Yeah.
Is I don't want to offend anybody. Is prostitute like a?
It's old school. It's still on the books, like on Nevada's books. But like the hipper,
what's the desire?
hipper way to say it is sex worker.
But here's the thing with sex workers.
Personally,
that can
me, you can call me a legal prostitute.
Yeah, she
I got
said
you.
it. Cool.
But the thing with the term sex worker is that is such a broad. It includes strippers. It includes women who take lingerie photos who aren't naked. Wait, question. Is stewardess okay? Because you're a flight attendant, so I'm just curious.
It's not the term that we
Would you be
prefer.
offended if someone referred to you as a stewardess?
No,
You get any
older people do all the time.
Doesn't bother you?
No.
Okay. All right. Just curious. Just want to make sure since we're.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Earlier it was like talked about like how, you know, sleeping or letting your husband or wife sleep with someone else is like irresponsible, or it's not a marriage anymore. Like, I'd be kind of curious of what you believe a responsible marriage is like. Or I understand that you have a religious view on marriage, but when I think about a marriage, I think like I could see somebody saying they're married if it's like completely romantic, like you're not allowed to do romance with anyone else. Like, basically, what does a responsible marriage mean to you?
Marriage is not just a contract. Like it wasn't just like the government came up with a contract for people to get married. You know, the history of marriage, you can't separate that from the church. The problem is people are trying to make things cool and trying to update and make them modern. And now people are saying you can have a polygamous marriage and you can bring in other people on the outside of a marriage. What's the point of getting married? Literally, I'd like to ask the question: if you think that you can, if you want to marry somebody and then outsource the sex, outsource the responsibility, outsource what the labor of love is actually supposed to be about, why not just stay single?
So you wouldn't do a threesome with your husband?
Absolutely not, because he's my husband.
Do you
Did you
believe?
even have to ask that to get the
Well,
answer?
I mean, there's
Absolutely
married
not.
couples that want to have threesomes, and
you know
some
what
of
happens?
these ladies are
You
bi-curious.
should jump into those Reddit threads, because every single time that marriage ends in divorce, there's so many Reddit threads
No,
about.
they don't.
Oh,
And a lot of them
I have
actually do
regulars
really
of
well,
over 5
too.
years.
Okay.
And
There's
they're
some that
not
do really
divorcing.
Do you
well.
believe
Well-
atheists can get married?
I think atheists get married because they want a tax break. I don't see the point in an atheist getting married. Why don't you just live with your partner, okay? Whoever it is that you're dating, you're at the stage you said, I don't know if you live with your boyfriend or whatever it is. Why take the next leap? If you're wearing crosses for fun and,
I mean, if you're actually asking
the
the question,
yeah.
I mean, because then I would just be pledging the fact that I would want to be with them forever.
But
I don't really.
you can just be with them forever. So what is it
Right,
that you
but-
crave that when you want to get married? What's that next step for you? What does it mean? What's the difference between dating and marriage?
Because it's a commitment.
Is dating not a commitment?
It's a commitment, but it's saying a
But
next
you're
step. It's
within-
solidifying it.
Okay, solidifying what? Because if
Solidifying
you're,
a bond between two people that love each other.
Okay, but what is solidified? If you can then jump into that next commitment, which is the exact same as dating, and you can sleep with other people and you can put topless photos on the internet, what are you getting married for? Pictures on Instagrams to say you did it?
I mean, I'm not sleeping with other people.
What's the
but
difference for you between dating and marriage?
I just told you, it's a bond between two people. You're solidifying that by law. You're literally making it known. I want to be with this person forever. It isn't just a simple breakup. Oh, I can go and do whatever the fuck I want and leave. It's a partnership. It's a bond. It's forever.
But there's no difference between dating and marriage
there is a
other than the
difference.
idea in your head that it's a bond, because you're saying also
But it's not an
that
idea in my head.
okay.
It's on paper.
Oh, okay, it's the paper. That was the
But
point
it's
I
not
was
a
making.
but I'm
just
saying
piece
it's
of
not a
paper.
tax break. It's a legal thing.
And I think for people that are
connecting to
committed-
somebody for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, I think for people that think about marriage and don't think about a cross as something funsy to wear, it's not a piece of paper. It is a union between a man and a woman, a sacred union that should be protected from external forces. Definitely not something that you open up. How I would feel disgusting if my husband ever came to me and said, I want you to sleep with another man or sleep with another woman so that I can fill my sexual fetish. I mean, it's an utter perversion of what it means to be married, and it will lead to divorces. People that have this perspective will, and I'm not saying that if you don't do it, you won't get divorced 100%, but I do want to say that there is probably a reason that a lot of sex workers struggle to find people that want to marry them.
Well, can I say a lot
I
of the
disagree.
perversion that comes if you are not going to be acceptant with your partner, if he comes to you and is like, hey, I really like getting pegged, I want you to peg me, and you're like, ew, that's so disgusting, like I would never do that. You want me to eat your ass? I would never do that. Well then, okay, what are you going to do? Divorce him? Or what are you going to do? Realistically, I'm
Are you
asking
gonna
you
do
and
it?
I'm asking, hold on, I want to know, what are you going to do? That's your husband. He's like, hey babe.
I think one of the things about marriage that's really beautiful is I know what my husband, before we got married, I think I know who
But
he
things
is.
change, and maybe he wants to start exploring.
He wants to
Yeah.
start doing what?
So he wants
rim.
to start exploring, and he's like, oh my gosh, maybe I do want you to like eat my ass, and
What?
I kind of want you to peg me. Like I kind of want anal penetration from you because you're my wife and you're so beautiful and hot, and we're married and we have kids together, and I'm feeling a little bit kinky, and I with you, since we have this special marriage and bond. How would you feel if we could just try this out just this one time, babe, please?
I think it would probably indicate to me that my husband was involved in some perverse world, whether it was through pornography, that something else was happening on the side, because these aren't normal things that people just think of
Okay.
when they wake up.
So
like,
what's your
hey,
next
I'd
move?
really like a strap-on dildo.
Okay, right.
Well,
So what's your
also,
next move?
What's the ultimatum? He's
Wait,
going
hold
to
on.
divorce me if I
Wait,
don't peg
what's
him?
so what's your
What's
next move?
happening?
Crazy. I would think that individual would probably need therapy and not the kind that you give.
Okay, and but you're gonna stay with
You
this
don't
person?
immediately divorce.
Okay.
Marriage is
You're gonna
about
say-
working through issues and working through problems. You
Okay,
don't immediately
right.
divorce them. And this gets back to what she was saying about if your
Because-
husband, if suddenly a woman doesn't want to have sex, which would be another huge issue in a relationship, I would hope that my husband wouldn't instantly divorce me, but I would hope that they
Well,
would
some
take
guys
the
are terrified of that, and some guys don't even feel like they can open up to their wives about that. About that
Sounds
stuff.
like they need therapy.
They
Then
need
if they
therapy.
can't open up to
Yeah.
his wife.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta work on your marriage.
But the thing is that they'll come to us talking to us about that. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
and think
don't
that
know.
that's
I think it's-
unhealthy. And I think that, the fact that sex workers exist as this, what you believe to be a solution, when in fact that's a detriment, because you're getting in the way of the wife and the husband being able to communicate. And so I would much rather my husband go, if there was an issue and your wife's not having sex, I'd rather him go talk to a priest. I'd rather him go talk to another male. When males sit down and talk about, hey man, you should talk to her about
Okay,
this.
but let's be
I'd rather
real.
him.
What
No,
man
let
nowadays
me
is
finish
gonna
my
do
statement.
that?
I'd rather him. What do you mean, bros talking to each other about things? That's a normal. I'd
Especially
rather, if I have
about
an
sex, I
issue
feel
in
like
my,
that's pretty
it's
normal.
pretty normal. I'd rather go talk to my sisters about things that are going on
No,
in my
I said
marriage.
what
There's a
man?
lot of steps you can take before you talk to a prostitute about your marriage. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I live in such a crazy.
Well, I'm
place,
saying what
but
man is
I
willing
don't know.
to do
I'd
that?
turn on
Because
turn on a
apparently
Taylor
we
Swift
get a lot
song,
of those on
cry
this
a little
side,
bit in
is
my
what I'm
room. I don't know. There's a lot. I would turn to
Wild
Taylor Swift
proposition.
before I would go to a prostitute about
Well,
my marriage.
I
and
know, but you're not a male, so
no,
I'm just saying, like,
men can talk to
where-
other. What are you talking about? There's all of these podcasts of men talking to men and being inspirational and talking about porn addiction and talking about the things that are corrupting men's minds. That's out there.
Okay,
and
and
those
I
are
know
those
that.
are. I would much rather my husband listen to those men,
Right.
and look for guidance, whether it's in the church,
I
whether
hear
it's on a
you.
podcast, whether it's a spiritual leader, than to turn to a prostitute in a brothel.
I hear you.
So there's a lot of steps that you can take from we're having an issue in our marriage to my husband's at a brothel laying next to a prostitute talking about issues
I
in
don't
my
think
marriage.
I
a
think
lot of
actually
male
let me just step in really quick. I do think though I would like to redirect the conversation, because I do think it's probably a very small portion of people who are married are seeking to bring in a prostitute for the husband. It just seems like such a small kind of, I don't know. What's up, really quick?
Statistically, married men are actually the highest number of clientele for prostitutes.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying, please listen for me. I'm literally telling you guys, males come to us and say all this stuff, which is like, they're first scared of you guys because how you might react. Two, they feel like they can't be honest and open with you guys. That's why they result in coming to places like
Just
that.
so you guys know, that statistic doesn't mean that the majority of married men go to prostitutes. So
I
you
didn't say that.
No, I know. I'm just letting her know, because she said yes, like it was if it was a debunk. And
No,
I think what
no,
he's
no,
saying
no,
is that the
no.
majority
Oh,
of married
nice,
men don't
yeah.
turn
I'm just saying, like,
to prostitutes.
a
So
lot-
there
we
might be a
get a lot
small
of married men, is
contingent,
what I'm
and they
saying,
might be majority
right?
married.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
I think
get
that's a
everything.
good
But-
reason to have, I guess, on the point of like something was brought up earlier about like what is like a responsible marriage to you. So part of being a good partner as like a wife or a girlfriend to whoever you're with is making them feel comfortable telling you anything, especially if it's something that they think is serious enough to consider leaving like their relationship with you for. Like if it's serious enough that they would consider divorcing you if they can't explore the sexual fantasy or anything like that. I think that's just a part of being good on the I agree with what you're saying here, that they that these men don't feel comfortable that they could tell their wives, and I guess that's just a part of being, not that it's justifiable that you as a wife you should give in to any sexual fetish your partner brings to you. It's whatever you're comfortable with and wherever your boundaries are, but I guess that's a part of that continuous conversation with them, so that they always feel comfortable bringing up anything to you as a
Right.
friend, as like a confidant, and knowing they're not going to be judged,
Right.
but that they'll be a partner with you in
I
figuring
do
out
have
what
to.
do
I
about
do
it.
have to move on. So we have a couple chats here I want to try to get through. We have Beaten Cheeks, Candace Owens. Do not hold back on these libs. Wipe the floor with your intelligence. Congrats on being prego again. Be easy with my Essie though. She's about to get retired out soon.
Okay, first of all,
fellas.
I have beef with Beaten Cheeks because
Uh-oh.
he asked me on a date and then
Uh-oh.
posted a photo with another girl on Twitter.
Oh,
So
are you guys? Are you guys loyal? I mean, he asked you on a date, and you guys are committed to. You're committed to Beaten Cheeks with his
we're basically
ridiculous
together.
name.
So he's posting photos with another woman right after asking
Wow,
me out.
Beaten Cheeks. How
He's
could
literally
you
breaking my heart. He's breaking my
Commit
heart.
this act of infidelity on Essie over here, who you've never met yet. Okay, we have Frankie K. Hey, thank you, man. You know what's funny about Beyonce? She encourages single ladies to have fun, supports promiscuous behavior in her music, and perpetuates the I don't need a man mentality. And when she's done recording, she goes home to her husband and her children, who, by the way, Jay-Z cheated, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Okay, all right. Good point, Frankie. Thank you, man. We have Canada J, Candace, the honey badger queen. Is that your nickname?
I don't know.
Or did you just get bestowed with
I
the...
just got bestowed.
Thank you for your voice and being on. This wacky space is a cultural battlefield that somehow pushes beyond ideological bubbles. When are Jeremy and Ben going to make Brian an offer? Seriously, think about it.
I'll bring it to them.
Oh.
I've got a lot to bring to them. After.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King and Matt
thing.
Walsh.
There you
yeah.
go. All right, we have travel trades here. Oh, wait. I'll just read. Hi, Brian. Long time no see. Hopefully I can come on once I'm back from Kuwait. Hi, Candace. Thanks for being a voice when I felt odd having conversation. Conservative behaviors, excuse me. Your bravery has helped countless people become comfortable with being conservative.
Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you.
We have travel trades. People in this day and time are exceedingly haughty and refuse to pursue the abolition or even suppression of ego in their everyday lives. People appeal their own wants, needs, opinions, ideas, etc. above all else instead of appealing to something greater from travel trades. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. And then lastly, we have Sosaiji. That's probably not, I don't know. Panel, please listen to everything that Candace says. You have a rare opportunity to see what a high-value woman is and learn from her as she's intelligent, respected, and accomplished. You can't justify and make excuses for your lifestyles. Anybody got a response to that one?
Thank you.
Oh, okay, there you go. All right.
I like my lifestyle.
I love my
Okay.
lifestyle.
I
and what
could
it's
change it
created
at
for
any
me.
time. Being in this industry, you don't run out of opportunities. Men are coming all the time. If I wanted to settle down with one of them, I think that could have happened.
Yeah.
Wait, when you say men are coming to you all the time as clients, right?
Yeah.
And you said if you wanted to settle down with any of them, you could, but do you find the men who come to you attractive? Because I mean, I've heard from a
Yes.
lot of women who do OnlyFans or even women who are exotic dancers, strippers, whatever, and women who do porn or even adult content, that the men that typically like are the fans or consume the content or come and see you, your clients, a lot of these women don't view these men like just by virtue of them coming to you or by virtue of them subscribing to your OF, like that in and of itself makes them not a prospect for any like long-term relationship.
These are normal guys, and some of them are hot. So I'm a fitness competitor.
Okay, all right.
I'm 46 years old. I figured I was going to age out of the industry. What has happened? MILFs are all the thing. They're the cat's pajamas right now. So I'm getting a ton.
Well, okay, yeah.
I'm getting a lot of youngins.
The
Coming,
youngins.
the youngins,
The youngins.
young gentlemen,
Really?
tons of
Okay.
them, and then fitness competitors, judges that judge in the circuits, and then they'll say, hey, you're looking good, or tighten this up. So there's a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of individuals now.
To meet them though, but I mean,
And
when
date-
it comes
and
to
date them,
but
and
when
they
it comes
come
to
back.
long-term commitment, I mean, I think
They want I agree. What I encounter, and something what Candace said is these guys, they are prideful. So once they start dating you, they do. In my experience, they do want you to maybe consider settling down. Now I've done real estate. I was vice president of business growth at an active wealth management company during COVID. I have a master's degree. I can do different things.
what do you have a master's in?
Education. I
Okay,
got straight
got
A's.
it.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
and I taught for a while. So I come in and out. I'll go into white collared work and then I'll go back into the industry because it's fun for me. I enjoy it and it is good money and it's an adventure. I enjoy going out with these guys and being a travel companion and getting to go on vacations.
No, I
Candace?
just wanted to ask you,
Oh.
as the man sitting at this table, are you attracted to their lifestyles? Do you think men are attracted to their lifestyles? I'm just curious about your opinion, just to hear a
Good
male.
thing I don't care.
Well, that's so rude.
No,
he
but
sat
I mean,
here and
good-
asked you your opinion about
No,
everything.
I said like good thing I don't care for
But I
what
didn't-
other male has to say about my industry though.
But
I'm just
he's been
saying.
asking you questions about what you think about men.
No, I'm gonna
He's been
listen to
asking you
him.
questions about your life, and the first thing when I
No,
ask one
he
question
can
to
say his
him,
question.
you
I'm
say
just
I
saying,
don't
like,
care. I feel like
personally.
I'm very hurt.
Like-
I want to know.
Yeah, I
demand
just
an
yeah, but
apology.
why
How dare
interrupt
you?
that? Like when he asks you a question, what if someone said I don't care what she says? I think that's just a
No,
little
like
rude.
I'm saying like because everybody's always out here. I see your faces that you're giving her and stuff like that. And I think
No,
it's funny.
I just am
And so
saying
just
I'm letting her
like,
talk, but I just wanted to hear his opinion on it. So I just was
ahead,
that like a
Brian.
little bit of insecurity to just jump and say I don't care because
Can I
did you
poach
think
Candace from the Daily Wire?
Well,
I think I need
it
to
was
cut.
just a little rude.
Go ahead,
I'm
Brian.
I need to cut-
he's
I
let you
need to
talk so
defend
much.
her.
We've all been letting people talk with different perspectives. So I just thought it was like suddenly he hasn't even said anything, and you've
there
already
was a
diminished.
few times where
What?
condescending
Okay, well,
look.
in
Yes.
any case,
So,
in any case,
it's
so
okay.
I just want to hear
Just
a male
continue,
voice. Like we've been all talking
okay,
about our
I'm
opinions.
trying to let Brian continue, and you're still talking.
Okay.
A little bit
So
of insecurity coming out over there. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but go on.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, do I have your permission? Is it okay? Is it okay? Okay, cool. So sorry, can you just repeat the question one more
Yeah,
time?
I was just saying, like, it's interesting because we're all women and we're giving different perspectives and the female perspective on this topic. When you hear what she just said about sex work and how she feels about sex work, or you hear what she's saying, or you hear what she's saying, what is your honest opinion as a man? Because what we're trying to get to, I think, the nucleus of is, you know, high value women, high value men, what creates that, how men respond to that, and we have the opportunity to hear a man. I don't know.
I mean, I personally would not date a woman who is involved in sex work in any of its various manifestations. I mean, it's kind of, I'm not really like a hater if people want to do that sort of thing. When on a societal level, I don't know if it's, the best thing, but I'm kind of like, hey, whatever, go do your thing. But as far as my own personal preferences, standards, and boundaries when it comes to a relationship, I don't foresee myself wanting to get involved with someone who does sex work.
And why do you think that is? I think most men would agree with you. I think that makes sense to me. But why is that? Because I think it's just interesting to hear a male perspective. That's all.
Sure. I mean, well, kind of going back to there being different levels to it. So, I mean, if she's a prostitute or was a prostitute, I mean, it's kind of, I feel like that's just common sense. Like, I wouldn't, no offense, I just wouldn't date a woman who's a prostitute.
I'm not offended, like I said.
And probably they wouldn't want to date me. I don't know. It's fine. It's cool. But yeah, I wouldn't. No, if you're, because I would want monogamy, I'd want loyalty. And even though it's for work and they're just doing it for money, my view of sex is not, I don't think you can, well, people do, but I don't think you ought to detach intimacy from sex. And people who engage in a lot of casual sex or people who do it for work, you've essentially just detached intimacy from sex. So definitely not a prostitute. I mean, not a stripper, not a OnlyFans, no.
I feel like that was just like an unnecessarily long way to answer. Like, no dude's gonna want to date a hooker. I don't know. It's like, I don't think it's like that.
Yeah, and I said I don't care because it's like, and you're like, no, don't take offense. Like, I'm not going to take offense to something I don't care about. That's why I'm like...
No, it's just the preempt.
And you stated, you were like, and you looked at me and you said, and don't take offense. Like, baby, I'm not offended by any means. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay.
That's
I'm
totally
not
fine.
looking for a
I'm not,
high-end
I'm not,
relationship right now.
I'm not trying to offend you. She was just asking me
Yeah, I literally was just
my
asking a
stance.
question.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier I was like talked about like promiscuity. Like, I'm assuming you guys believe like promiscuity is like bad or shouldn't be encouraged in society. I was wondering what specific factors do you think encourage it most? Do you believe it's like media? Do you think like birth control has anything to do with it? Do you believe like, I want to know what your top factors of promiscuity are, or what you believe it is.
Yeah, so I would say number one contributor is culture and the education system. So I remember when I was left-leaning, a lot of my ideas came from the school system and just what you're talking about, Planned Parenthood in the classroom. That effort began in the 70s. The majority of high schoolers were graduating with their virginity intact in the 70s before they started teaching health class, which was teaching people that everybody's doing it, and actually they weren't. And within one decade, it completely flipped, and the majority of teens were now graduating having lost their virginity.